Welcome to the Genshift. We are here today with a very, very, very special guest. A guest that I am blessed to have grace the new stage that we are now filming this show from. And also, not only is that she's gracing the stage, her presence alone is absolute. She is phenomenal. She is incredibly talented and one certainly to watch here in Dubai. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to you Miss Imelda Gabs. Woo! Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. And what an introduction.
Well, listen, when anybody comes on this show, you're going to get an introduction. You deserve an introduction. You're talented. Everyone who comes here are so talented. They deserve the accolade, especially when you're an original artist. Come on now. Come on.
Thank you.
Wear it. Wear it. I love what you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you so much. Same to you.
Well, yes, I'm glad you said that you like what I'm wearing because there is a very special friend of mine. She's probably going to kill me, but I wanted to really represent today because it's the new space and the new show. And I want to give a shout out to Winifred Mills. This is a Winifred Mills outfit, so you need to go and check her out. But anyway, we are here especially for Miss Imelda Gabs. Welcome.
Thank you.
Right. So let's start with, okay, if you want to introduce yourself and where you're from and how you navigated to Dubai.
All right. Long story or short story?
Wow, we've got all day.
We have time.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, take your time.
So yeah, I'm a music producer. I'm a pianist, classically trained pianist and singer. I was born in Belgium, but raised in Switzerland. And originally from Belgium on my mom's side and from Congo on my dad's side. So I've always grown up with a lot of different cultures, a lot of different music genres, even though the main one at home was jazz, because my father was a jazz pianist. So there was a lot of vinyls or cassettes. When I was still little, we had cassettes, CDs, and then later I got my little MP3. So I was just always listening to music, or someone was playing, or I was playing. It was one of those three.
Good.
So I quite naturally dived into music myself as well. I started with the violin, which maybe some people may not know.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. And we've had a conversation.
Yeah. Basically what happened is that even though we had the piano at home and my father was playing, but I remember this quite clearly, which is weird because I was very young. I must have been 4 years old or something. And I was watching the TV and there was this classical concert and there was this guy, I don't remember who it was, but doing like a first violin solo in front of a big orchestra, and he was making all those big movements and I was so impressed. And I said to my mom, I want to do this. So we went to the music school conservatory in Switzerland when I was still there. And yeah, basically I entered the a violin class. It was very funny because I remember when I started the lesson, I had my little violin. I started doing all those crazy movements that I saw this guy do on the TV, and she told me, "No, this is not how you play," and it was very strict. And actually, and I don't hold any grudge against her now, but she was quite harsh. I mean, she was like a classical violin teacher, so and she wanted me to do good because she said I had potential, so I had to work twice as hard than the other kids. And even though maybe it makes sense now that I'm older that someone would do that, I was too young to understand.
Of course.
So I stopped the violin after 4 years.
Wow.
And I was quite traumatized. I didn't touch the violin for at least 10 years.
Well, considering she was like super hard on you then.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. At the end, it was too much. Like I was almost crying. Yeah, but that happens. But yeah, so that was my first like experience like with music school, and then I was also doing theory. Amazing. And after that, I started actually studying classical piano because I was playing piano already at home. but by ear, not knowing how to read the notes or anything. And at some point, my father pointed out, actually, maybe, don't you want to like study classical piano? Because even though he had like a major jazz career, he studied everything by himself. Because when he was back in Congo, like he didn't go to like a classical like music school for piano. He was just learning by playing at the church and playing at home. And at some point, he just told his family that he was not going to be an engineer and that he was going to travel and become a pianist, which was very problematic, I guess, when he said this. But at the end, they were very proud of him when it started to actually become something serious. But yeah, also this is a problem I have. I kind of spiral in between stories.
Do you know what? We are all good, and one of the things that is so great about this particular show is it doesn't matter if you spiral, because listen, we're here to relax first and foremost, and most importantly, we're here to just hear your story. We're here to hear about the ideas behind your art, and it's so incredible because one of the things that really stood out for me, I mean, we met before you coming on the show, and one of the things that really impressed me was the sort of ideas behind why you chose to go down the sort of original scene, and using all these incredible facets of being trained, understanding theory, was sort of like preparing you to become the woman you are today, and where you sit in the framework of your sound. And you have quite a lot of influences in your sound. And what's great about that is when I listened to the music that you sent over to me, I just had so many flashbacks to artists from back in the 80s. And one of the key artists that I did pick up on was like Sade. And I get that a lot. That's where you you kind of, because you have this beautiful, clean but dulcet tonality to your voice, which really kind of encapsulates the listener. It just really grabs the listener, from your opening frame to even when you take us through the journey, these beautiful layered tones and, you know, little inferences behind the tone. It's just incredible to listen to. So Sade was definitely one that I picked.
And a lot of people have told me that.
Yes. I can imagine.
And I love her music, so she has such an interesting career as well. I mean, I get a lot of Sade. I get a lot of London Grammar, which is completely different, but
totally different.
A lot of people have told me London Grammar.
But I kind of also get like certain like the power of Alicia Keys. Not because you're playing keys. It's just that there's certain rasps in your voice that really penetrate. Especially when you're phrasing. It's like, oh, I'm kind of like, wow, where did that come from? But like I said, you know, I kind of did a little bit of digging. I did.
You did?
I did. I do it with all my artists because I think when it comes to inviting people here, it's important that you know something about them and something about their background. And I'm open for you to share your story. But I wanted to say to you that I kind of read up on Sade's story. And instantly I got like goosebumps because after speaking to you, and then I kind of referenced her, I could kind of just, it was like parallel universe. It was almost like you, you're living in her soul or
How?
something's
How? Like,
right.
yeah.
So this is the interesting part. We're having a chat, right?
Yes. Tell me.
So basically, Sade was one who kind of grew up always in the shadow.
Uh-huh.
She was never an artist that really pushed herself to be at the front or to be a front person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only going to give a really short
Yeah.
breakdown. People, you can go check it out. But one of the things that really stood out for me in terms of her story was how she didn't feel like she belonged anywhere. And I know we've talked about
Mm-hmm.
this,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of she never fitted in.
Yeah.
Like whilst being at school, she never fitted in school. She felt like when she was even in the scene, the music scene, she still felt very invisible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I picked up on that when we were talking about you.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why it kind of like it was almost like a bit of a light bulb moment. Who are you? Like,
The big question.
the big question, right?
Yeah.
So there's the topic that I wanted to kind of like push your way a little bit
Yeah.
about your story
Yeah.
is this feeling invisible,
Yeah.
but you are visible.
Yeah. No, but I see what you mean. Um, I think I mean, if I have to talk just about the music, for it took me a long time to get to a place where I was comfortable and
Right.
confident enough to allow myself to be in front of my own solo project,
Right.
because I never really had the need to be. It's weird to say as an artist, but I don't need to be seen. I need to share what I have to share. Like I want to share moments with people, and if they see me, that's good. But
Yeah,
but so for a very long time, I think I also kind of had like this imposter syndrome. I never really felt like I was worthy of whatever big opportunity I could have. I always felt like I had to do much more work, that I wasn't ready. And also I was a big perfectionist. I say was because I feel like I am less and less a perfectionist, which is great because it allows me to make mistakes, and that's fine, and we can continue. But yeah, so when I started, I was writing for myself, was performing a lot at home. I was very shy, very introvert, which I still am, but not as much, luckily. And yeah, I performed in bands, but not as a. My name was not in it. Like I was part of it, but it was not my project. So it was like I don't have to worry about whatever outcome this is. And then slowly but surely, I had the last project I was in. I was in the front, but I was still sharing the stage with someone, so I was not completely alone. And then after this ended, it just felt like I had passed all of those different chapters for a reason, and that finally, after all of those experiences, I felt ready to go out there by myself.
Amazing.
But it took a few years to get
It
there.
does, and I think that's like part of the story, right? Because not everyone is always like all singing, all dancing, and I kind of checked into how artists when they really hone in on this, being perfect in everything they do. It stems from whatever your practice was, like how you were taught and things that you needed to learn. And all these things have to come into play because that's what you know.
Yeah.
The world of jazz is the complete opposite because it's like, it's about all the things, yes, but you break all the rules. You break the rudiments of sound.
Yeah.
And watching you, because obviously I came to watch your show. It's amazing, guys. And you really need to go check it out. You brought so much of that person that was, bringing the perfection. to that stage,
Mm.
but you wasn't alone.
Mhm.
And even being sat at the piano in that moment, it was almost like you were sharing your story
Mhm.
with someone next to you. Not necessarily the audience, but
Yeah, no, it makes sense, especially for this concert because, so it was a themed concert around traveling through time,
That's
and especially with jazz songs. And then at the end, I ended with my own songs because all of those songs have influenced me
yeah.
towards writing my own songs. That was a bit the idea behind it.
Yeah.
But especially with that concert, this makes sense because since I was playing tribute to all of those other artists that had been performing those songs before me, um, it feels normal for me that when I'm singing a song that is not mine, I am sharing the story of that song and the
Yeah.
history of it and the weight of it when I'm performing it.
Of course.
So, and in a way, I'm also making it my own.
Right.
And I think this is what's so very particular with jazz is that you want to not change the song too much, but enough so that you create something around it and that it becomes a moment. And that's why you have those songs that have like this very short theme, and then you have the improvisation that will be like 5 minutes long, and then you get back to the theme. And I think this is what jazz is about. It's about being free, like you said, but still in a
Absolutely.
certain. But
Because you did a rendition of At
yeah,
Last, and obviously you did a rendition of Summertime.
yeah,
And, you know, we as singers, you know, we always put respect on where the song came from originally. We have to make sure we pay homage
yes,
to that. But we also are respecting ourselves and how we shape the sound of what was given to us, because
yeah,
it has been given to us.
yeah,
It's been shared around the world.
yeah,
And you know, I agree in terms of how you interpret a cover is integral to how people receive it in the time of now.
yeah,
Because how it would have been received back in the 40s or back in the 50s,
yeah,
it's like us listening to your songs, your original
yeah,
songs.
yeah,
And I think what you did with the repertoire was incredibly well thought out,
thank you.
and it was in ridiculously respected in every way. Um, just even not just the arrangement, just the visuals and everything around it, surrounding it. You really brought something that was unique, because you were kind of fusing
Yeah,
this timeline with the futuristic elements of digital art,
yes.
which is like very immersive, right?
It is, it
So-
is. No, and it's interesting when you look at all the different perspectives some people can have about doing a cover. Because a lot of people will say, and I've heard this very recently, like, you should always sing a song in its original tone. Like, it has to be the same
Yeah.
tone, it has to be the same scale. You have to sing it exactly like the singer sang it originally. You have to play it exactly like the composer wrote it. And I've heard this a lot also in classical music, where it's maybe even more strict in certain
Yes.
ways, even though I think the magic actually comes from the moment where you don't exactly, because I don't know how to say this. I feel like now that I also write my own music, I never really know exactly how my song is gonna sound because I'm playing with humans, and it's gonna be different every time. The acoustic of the place is gonna be different. Maybe something's gonna happen. I mean, you never
Absolutely.
know. So you write like a. So when you write music, you write like a.
A
How can I say
guide.
this? It's like a bass.
Yeah, it's just a guide, isn't it?
And then
Yeah.
exactly, and then it comes alive on stage. That's why we call it a live show. It comes
Absolutely.
alive.
Yeah.
So I am more on the other side of this. So I think you should respect the song, but you should make it come alive, not copy exactly what
Thank
has
you.
been done, because it's never going to be twice the same unless
Thank
you use a
you.
backing track.
Exactly. And that said, you know, this is so true because, you know, I guess when it's regarding people's comfort zones, and
Mm.
you know, people always look for that pillow, that way of um, recognizing a song that means something to them. And they play on that interpretation of the original artist and the original sound and how it was written and composed, which is very important because it's a reflection of
Yeah,
that.
sure.
However,
Mm.
you know, given the fact that people recognize keystrokes of a song through whatever the chord pattern is or whatever the hook may be,
Mm.
I'm such an advocate of adding to that. Like you said, you know, you want to bring it to life. You bring life to a song. Someone who once wrote it might not necessarily be here, but if they were here in this time,
Yeah.
would they have written the same
Exactly. Yeah.
composition?
And
Would they
also,
yeah.
when you write a song, I don't know, I wasn't there back in the 1800s, but right now, for example, because I wrote down some of my songs, even the more complicated ones that I have on the piano, I wrote them. But when you write it, you kind of simplify it also a little bit, because you want it to be as not perfect, but you want it to make as much sense as possible. So all the little things that you would freely do when you play it live, you're not gonna add that to the music sheet, not necessarily.
Exactly, right.
And I feel like probably, I don't know, and we don't have any recordings of the original playings of a lot of
No, we
composers. But I guess that when they were playing their own songs, they would maybe not exactly playing what's been written. I don't know.
Well,
but
no
I
one
guess
knows
not.
unless they're in
It's
that moment.
improvisation at first, and then they write it.
Exactly. Come on now, talk the thing. Talk it, man.
Because even classical music, because I don't know, maybe some people don't know, but in classical music there is actually also improvisation. It's very different from jazz, but like Baroque music and all of those things, all of those this period, there is a way of improvising also in classical music. And I guess this is how a lot of those classical composers first wrote their songs, because when you write something, it doesn't exist. So you have to...
Exactly, you're giving life to something that doesn't exist, but you now have brought it to life. So
and also what's interesting is that if you take Beethoven, for example, I think he was probably very problematic back in his time. When right now he is like this very big classical composer that we all know, but back in the days he was probably considered as a, I don't know, a crazy guy who was doing romantic music. Like
well, I mean, yes, considering that, but then
too much emotion, and it was
emotion.
Yeah, and well, even more like in the jazz period, Crimea River. When it was first composed, it was considered too sultry. Back in the 40s.
Oh, yes.
And then in the 60s, it came back to life a bit, and people understood it more.
But that's what happened. Like, music has to go through a cycle. It's like, you know, and I'm not making a reference to music being dirty laundry. It would have probably started in a moment where there would have been emotion, and there would, like what we go through, you know, we are very much driven by, as artists, we're driven by our emotions. You know, that's how we get to share part of us.
Yes.
And, you know, in that moment, depending on where it goes, you know, you kind of think, I just need to change that reference a bit because you know, it doesn't kind of work within the scale. But with that said, you know, someone in your future is going to listen to your sound and they're going to pick it up. And there will be a new interpretation.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because I want to go into obviously your music as well, because it's, you know, it's phenomenal. And there's a specific track that was written for a film score, right? Was that Relentless?
Reckless?
Reckless.
I would love it to be for a film score, but no, it was part of my first album, and we did a music video.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, like, I say it but we're obviously going to go. We're going to see it, guys. We're going to see it. Promise. But let's just let's talk about that. Let's talk about your process
Mm-hmm.
on how you write. Where does it come from?
Mm-hmm.
How and who are you aiming for in
Okay.
terms of
Mm.
the audience? Talk to me about that.
um, I don't really have one answer because
Okay.
it really depends on so many things. I try to be aware as much as I can, meaning that if I have an idea, sometimes it happens. I don't know. I'm walking. I'm taking a whatever taxi, and then I have a melody. I always have my phone
Right.
nearby, so I can hum it very discreetly for later. If I'm at the piano and that I'm looking for ideas, because I think like in a lot of different art forms, there is this moment where you don't have any idea. You want to do something, but you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So where I usually would start in that case would be the piano, because I can just improvise and I would just push the button, record, improvise for a long time. And then that's a lot of the time when magic happens is when I don't plan anything. I just play, and then at some point I would be like, oh, okay, that was actually good.
Awesome.
And that's why I started to record myself
Yeah.
as much as I can, because before I didn't, and it happened too many times that I would have a great idea and just don't remember how how it came.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, sometimes I would have just words, so I
Yeah.
would write some lyrics down and just see later if whatever one of my productions would work with
Okay.
them.
Okay.
So yeah, it
Awesome.
depends.
So, okay, so your music is a reflection of yourself because clearly you
Mm.
write around your personal circumstances, I guess. Um, so, why choose that method?
Mm.
And I know this is it's a bit of a, ooh, how can you ask that question, Julie? But I really want to understand
Yeah,
because Reckless, for
yeah.
instance, it, take me through the process on how that was written and what is it
What it
about?
means.
Yeah, come on, man.
Okay. No, this song is very interesting to talk about because it's in a way very different from all the songs of the album, because a lot of the songs on the album took me a lot of time, meaning that I went back and forth producing and composing it. So I would produce a part, let it sit for a few months, come back to it,
Yeah,
record
yeah.
the blah, blah, blah. It was a process. But this one, basically, I just, like I said before, I recorded a piano thing and I really liked it. Um, so I kept it somewhere for a while, and at some point I just had an idea for the vocals, but I didn't know if it was going to be on the album or not. I didn't know.
Okay.
And then at the end of a session, when I was recording the album, I had some time left, and I remembered that I had this in my computer. So I asked the engineer, like, "Do we have time just to record some vocals on this
Yeah.
one?" Because I just wrote also some lyrics. And he said, "Yeah, okay." So we did one take,
Okay.
and I didn't re-record it. I used that take.
That take is solid.
I used that take, and so this song, even though to me it almost became the strongest of the album, at first it wasn't supposed to exist, and it
Right.
happened very quickly and very from a very raw place.
Okay. Because that's where, I'm going to be going deep, deep,
Yes,
deep. I'm
let's
going
go.
to, let's
Let's
go.
dig in.
Let's go, my darling. Let's go. Because lyrically, there's some real depth.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
So this song, it came from a place where, well, first from the surface, the song is about when you go outside of your comfort zone and then you land into this place that you don't know.
Right.
And now that you're there, what do I do?
Wow.
I'm lost.
Wow.
Where do I look at? I have all those many directions I can go to. I don't know where to go. Do I sit here? But I cannot go back either because I've already gone so far. That's the feeling. And so if you go deeper, for me at that time, I was in a big love-hate relationship with music meaning that I will always love music and there's a real passion in it. But when you love something, there are moments where this love is gonna make you suffer a
It's
lot.
like a marriage, right? Not that I'm saying a
Probably,
marriage
I'm
is
not
bad,
married,
but, but
I
I
don't
know you're not married, but it's a love-hate relationship.
But yeah, so basically, I was so passionate, and I had made so many choices. I mean, I've lost friendships. I've lost probably a lot of things. But because I was so passionate about what I was doing, that I just continued on this path, and I don't regret it. But there are moments where you look back and you're like, oh, maybe if I did this, if I didn't do this. And so at that time, I felt like I had given so much, and I was not getting as much back as I would have imagined. And I think this is something probably a lot of artists can relate to, is that when you create something, you put your heart in it, your soul, and it's so personal because it's your song. Especially if you're an independent artist like me and you don't have like a team around you that can kind of temper the losses and the problems that you can encounter if you're completely alone. You deal with that on your own. So yeah, and I was on this path to release my album, and I was just thinking, I've spent so much money, I've spent so much of my time. Time is so precious. And I don't even know if anyone is gonna listen to that album.
Okay.
Is it gonna? Why am I doing it? But at the same time, I'm always reminded of why I do it when I go on stage. That's why I love going on stage so much, because that's when I see what music actually does to people, and it connects you, and it connects me every time back to why I'm so passionate about it.
Absolutely, which brings me back
Yeah.
to when I was explaining. When you came on stage, you didn't come alone, right? There was a presence. You brought something with you that sat next to you on the piano. And this is how you were able to perform. Because sometimes, you know, as singers, we carry so much weight on our shoulders. And it can be a very lonely place.
Yeah.
And well, it is. It's a very lonely place.
It is.
Because not everybody understands the process. And especially when you're, you know, you feel like you're going to get, you know, time is against you, which it really isn't. Because
again, this took me some time to realize also that you don't have to rush things.
Exactly, you don't.
Yeah,
because
things happen
all
at the
you're
right
doing
time.
is collecting wisdom along the way.
Yes.
And the wisdom is then is part of the process. Your maturity, the fact that how you actually deal with yourself, is part of how you execute the music. And it's reciprocated through respect. It's really a powerful tool that you have, that will only grow stronger. I'm saying that with you being here and being quite, you know, open about your expression, and it's quite honourable. I will say that. So
yeah, I mean, when I go on stage, for a long time I felt like I was first I had to be in control because I was so shy. So I'm talking a few years back.
right.
I was so shy that I knew that on stage I could not be like this. So I was trying to control how I would act on stage. And the problem with that is that I was not being completely myself then. Or I was being too focused on not making a false note or not. See what I mean? That was like my safe zone. That was my way of being safe. Is like I have to control everything. And then at some point I was just like, actually,
let it go.
yeah, you just have to let everything go and just get on stage, be yourself. And I would say this is probably the place where I feel the most myself, and maybe I don't know how to say this. It's weird to say, but I became my own friend. Does it make sense?
Amazing. No, that is
so when I go on stage, I am with
your friend, your best friend.
Yes.
So you're never alone. So that to me,
it's weird, but I think it's the hardest thing is to come to a point where you make peace with who you are and all the dark parts also, because that was a main part of my journey, was to accept some of the things that I was not accepting from my own story or
Right.
whatever, and I was
Right.
just hiding them. And at some point I was like, actually this is part of me, like they have to be in my songs. That's why some of my songs are so deep, is because this is all me, like the good
Of
and the
course it
bad.
is. It's introspective, and it's
Yes.
just such, it's so rich. And this is the thing. It's so much music now. I don't know about you. I don't actually pay too much attention to secular music
Mm.
anymore. I
Mm.
left that probably about 7, 8 years ago. I just decided to just fall away from it
Mm.
because music has meaning to me. And if it doesn't reference or it doesn't speak to my soul,
Yeah.
then what is the point? I'm just
Yeah.
feeding an empty bucket.
Mm.
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I do reach out to artists, I really look beyond the surface, because you're like an iceberg, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's the top, but then there's all this
Yeah.
mass
Yeah.
underneath
Mm-hmm.
that is waiting to come up to the surface. And that's what really drew me to understanding your ideology behind your music.
Mm.
And certainly my ears needed feeding.
Yeah.
um, and I respect that. I
Mm.
respect that. So what advice would you give to a young person
Mm-hmm.
at this stage? Because you are, let's just get it correct, you are Gen Z.
Yeah.
So we've got another Gen Z guys. You know, this is how we're rolling. We have another generation coming up behind us,
Mm-hmm.
and they are the alphas,
Yeah.
and they're very much influenced by technology.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
Born into it.
they're born into it. So if you were to partake your experience to someone who has never
Mm-hmm.
been outside the digital realm,
Yeah.
what type of advice would you give to somebody in terms of writing an introspective piece of music about
Yeah.
themselves?
Yeah. I would say that actually completely independently of whenever you are born, what you should do in order to know who you are as an artist, to me, because this is what I did, and I hope that it worked. I think so. Is to listen to as much music as you can, and not in one particular genre, not only a type of music that you like. Listen to a lot of different things, because actually in each genre there is actually something that you can take. And also, if you really don't like something, then you will have at least listened to it and be able to say, okay, I don't like it because of that. Because I feel a lot of artists today, I mean, some of them, they do a specific genre of music, and then you ask them why, and you say, because it's working well for the streams, and because it's like it's
don't
fashion, you know.
start
And the
me.
problem with that is that it's not gonna stay, because then you're not really being completely honest. You're just doing something because
It lacks
it works
authenticity
at a
then,
certain
doesn't it?
time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, for me, for example, when I started wanting to do my solo project, I a bit like in Reckless, like in the music video, I was in this, I fell on this planet that I didn't know, when there was no one to guide me, no one to tell me where I should go. Well, actually, in my case, a lot of people told me where I should go, but I didn't want it to, because a lot of people wanted me to take on completely what my father had already achieved, which I did, and I still kind of do, which is very classical jazz. And even though I love that music and it's part of me anyway, I mean, I've been playing it at Toda a few days
Well,
ago.
of course.
People still call me to do jazz concerts, and I'm very happy to do so. But this is actually not who I am. This is not what I do.
Right.
This is not yeah, I just feel to my core, and I've always felt that this is not what I've meant to do.
Okay.
That's why I started writing my own songs. And there's always going to be some jazz influence in it because I've grown up in it. It's part of me. Even though for a long time I've been very rebellious against jazz. For a long time I was just saying I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like I had this stamp on my face.
Yeah.
That, okay, Imelda, she's a jazz artist. That's it. And yeah.
And that's the
And
part though,
yeah.
right? When
Yeah.
you're just thinking, oh, I'm being stigmatized. And
Yes,
just
and it was like this for a long time, and I think even right now, still a lot of a lot of people would, and I'm not angry at them at all to do it because
Okay.
I still perform a lot of jazz, so I do jazz, yes, but not only.
no.
But anyway, so I was listening to jazz, I was listening to rock, I listened to metal music, I listened to symphonic metal music, I listened to disco, to electronic, to tech, to pop.
So
I
you
listened to a lot of different things.
multifaceted.
Yes, and I always try to find that one genre that would even like shock my ear. Like I wanted to, because I felt like to know who I actually was and not what people wanted me to be.
Of course.
I had to explore those directions that no one was telling me to go towards.
And that's a great thing because obviously knowing
Yeah.
it now gives you more control. And you talk about control at the piano,
Yeah.
but you kind of like bleed into the fact that actually, no, I'm in control of my sound.
Yes.
This is,
Yes. And so that would be my advice.
Advice, yeah,
It
I
would
was
be
gonna
to
say, yeah.
to listen to as many genres of music that you can. If you can go to live music shows, concerts,
Better.
please go because it's it's very different from what you get from an album. And yeah, I think this is the best way to find yourself is to actually see what others have done before you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay. So, right. So what does I know it's kind of a cliche question, but what does the future look like for you and where do you see yourself?
Well, I'm working on my second album, so this is definitely the long-term goal right now. In the next upcoming years, it should be released, and then I want to go back to more live shows because
Yeah.
right now, since I've moved to Dubai, well, I moved to Dubai, so I had
You're
to
here, yeah.
I had to put on hold quite a lot of things. So I'm looking forward to being able to push the play button again and
Good.
and continue where I left it all a bit sit for a year. So yeah, more live shows. And for Dubai, I just see so many potential, and I just hope that I'll be able to meet more artists because I feel like even though I've been here for a year, I feel like it's been just a few weeks, few months that I've been actually able to go out of this
just
crazy
live-
rhythm we have here
exactly,
and meet
right?
people, and so I hope that I'll have more occasions to do that.
Oh, you certainly will. You certainly will. Dubai is not short of incredible artists.
Yeah,
It's not
sure of
short.
that, yeah.
There's more that are springing up, who are coming with some real phenomenal ideas. And it's, again, like you say, it's not necessarily always focused on one genre. People are really spreading out their wings and being kind of accepted within that, which leads me on to Miss Imelda Gabs.
Yes.
So we have got an artist meetup coming up, and unfortunately, Imelda can't make it. I'm not happy. No, I'm not. We've been sat deep in the ocean here for this chat, and now, so the artist meetup. I would like to extend an invitation to the artist meetup, which may commence towards the end of September for the next one.
Okay.
Would you accept?
Yes.
So it's on camera now. You can't turn around.
All right.
So don't be running away because I know there'll be lots of people trying to snatch. So we would love to extend the invitation to you because I think not only would your presence be felt, the fact that you will be bringing so much to the table of your talent and just you. Like, hello,
No, I would
guys.
love to come, and I'm so sorry I cannot be there for this.
No, because you're going away to with your
Yes.
with your friends to
Yes,
go and
we have a trip.
yes.
Yes.
And
Going
I'm
to
not
Kyrgyzstan.
happy. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be selfish. I wanted you to be here. No, I'm only joking. You go and have fun. You deserve it.
But you know, also like traveling is probably one of the things that inspires me the most.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna come back with a lot of like a fresh mind and new
Good.
projects.
Good. Well, you must certainly come back to the show and absolutely share everything with us because we,
Of course.
you know, the Genshift is growing. You are part of a new history that is being written. And I have to say, as a Gen Xer, it's an absolute privilege because many Gen Zs, Gen Xers tend to avoid Gen Zs because it's just some crazy relation. I have a son, by the way, who's Gen Z, so that's why I
Yeah.
can say it. But for me, it's not so. It's really inviting them into my home and allowing them to share their stories.
Thank you.
And I am absolutely grateful that you've made it here today.
Me too.
And I want to say, guys, please go check out Imelda Gabs. Do you want to share your Insta handles and all the good stuff?
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Imelda Gabs in one word. I have a website as well, imeldagabs.com, where you can actually order some of my albums if you want.
Absolutely.
And check if I have some live shows coming up.
Yes.
There's a newsletter, everything. I mean, you can go check it out. And on YouTube, Imelda Gabs as well, where I have my music videos and other stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for
It's been
having
an absolute
me.
pleasure.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Right, guys, that is it. We have opened up our new show in the new space. Oh, and it's been graced by Miss Imelda Gabs. And I'm Julie, and I'm the founder of the Vocal Pod, also the Vocal Podcast. This is the Genshift. Now, if you are either Gen Z or a millennial or a Gen Xer, and you want to get in touch about any topics that you would like to talk about, please get in touch. You can do so at www.thevocalpod.org. Just put in the subject line. I'll put it on the screen. The Genshift. And I look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Insta, sometimes Facebook. Facebook's a bit of a...
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not dogging it, but...
I mean, I basically repost. I mean, Instagram reposts automatically on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It's like the uncle or the aunt that just picks up.
That's still there. But
That's still there. Do you know what I mean? I don't know who's using Facebook still. I use it, but I'm not in it. But anyway, that said, that I'm digressing. I want to thank you. I want to thank Emmanuel and the team at PS Studios. Do not forget, please make sure you follow him. His tag is in the bottom of the screen, so it will always be there. So make sure you follow him. Right. I love you all. Take care, and I will see you on the next Genshift. Love ya. Mwah!